Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today is October 28th, 2020, and I did mention previously that the last video was going to be the last video, but I haven't had time to cut all my plants down, and they are actually grown really well, so I thought I'll give you another update. So this is the final update. Just like in application development, there's never going to be a final version. So anyway, here are some of the plants that are still alive, and pepper plants can actually withstand temperature down into the 40s and they will be fine. As long as there's no frost for extended period, they will continue to slowly kind of die away, but they won't die immediately. So in the 40s, which is today's 43 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was like that for the past few days, and the plants are just doing fine. With the cold weather, you don't have to water them often because they don't release water because of the heat, so they actually can stand a longer period without any watering. So here, as you can see, they're kind of yellowing because that's really how they look towards the end of the season. So also the fruits are going to stick because the plant are trying to focus all of the energy on producing fruits. So you will get flowers becoming fruits, and it'll be very surprising. But that's usually how the pepper plants do it. They wait until it's too late and then they'll put out some fruits. But here I have, see, a good amount of fruits that are ripening up, and there are some that are green. You see, it's a good amount of green peppers, and because the color of the leaves are very much like the pepper fruits like that, so they kind of hard to see. But this plant actually has a lot of fruits that I need to still pick. And this is my Starscream. Oh man, I made some chili oil using these pods here, and they are excellent. I add in a few sugar rush, and that even make it better. So you guys should try that. And here are some more of my Starscream. You see, there are still a lot of fruits left. And the dry pods like these here, you see, they're no longer good to eat, but you can make them into chili oil, and they're actually pretty good. So this one as well, you see they're dying away, but I still have a lot of red ones left that I'm going to pick. So these are the three that are like kind of like the best producing plants all throughout the season. I picked Ziploc bags of these, and I keep giving them away, and they're still pushing out more pods. So I'll show you the other plants. Okay, so here are my Lingria, and I was actually testing germination for these, and they happen to grow so well, so I left them, and they have fruits here. And man, I hate to let these guys go, but yeah, they're gonna have to go very soon. But I will pick a few of these fruits here to use. And here is the sweet Starscream chocolate that produce so much all the time. So I have a lot of these left. And these are Lingria, beautiful variety, and I actually really like the way they taste. This one here looks pretty interesting. I love the shape, and when it's in full bloom it looks gorgeous, and the fruits are actually a little spicy, and they're very pretty. See, they almost look like the lighter green color, and then they'll turn to orange and then red, and sometimes during the full blooming season they look almost like the leaves themselves, so they look very pretty, very productive, great tasting peppers. Next year I'm gonna put these guys in a huge pot so I can get more production out of them. And here is my bottle pepper. It's still alive. I may bring this guy inside, but of course you got to go through the quarantine process, make sure there are no pests in here. But man, this guy is producing a good amount of peppers, and I've been using it all throughout the season, and it's just a very fun project. I just look how gorgeous it looks, and it looks so cool inside a whiskey bottle. Okay, so in the fall I usually like to grow like radish and arugula, so I'll give you a sneak peek. These are the Korean radish to make kimchi. You see, they love the cold weather, and you can eat the leaves too. So I've been cutting leaves to eat, and as when they grow so much leaf, just cut a few leaves and you can use those. And while you wait for the bulbs to form, so they're great plants to grow. So I grow a few. They get pretty big too. The bulbs get humongous. So they're beautiful and nice plants to grow. These are my sorrel. I always grow sorrel because I love the way they taste. And of course some lettuce, and then cucumbers. They're getting to the end of the season, so they're not gonna do much. And arugula. I love arugula, so I grow a ton of these all the time throughout the whole year. They do better in cooler climate, but in the summer you can get some if you start them early and just let them go into the summer, and then they will produce seeds when it gets too hot. Those are perpetual spinach. I've been harvesting a ton of leaves. I love those things in soups. Okay, back to the peppers. So here's some white Thai. Still have to pick them. And my Linzo varieties. This variety is probably the most productive and hardy plants that I have. Look at this. Towards the end of the season, and it's still pushing out. These are the sweet Linzo, you see? They're kind of like a little wrinkly. They look really cool. So with these, the funny thing about them is they taste peppery, and you expect heat to come out of them, but they have very little heat, more sweetness than heat. And then the one next to them, this is the other Linzo, and this one tastes exactly like this, but it has a ton of heat. So I've been growing these for a few seasons, and every year same thing. The sweet ones and the hot ones. The spicier one turns out a lot bigger. You see, this is usually how it looks, and the chocolate Linzo looks almost exactly like this, except it turns chocolate, and this one turns red. So I've been growing for so many seasons that I got 3 versions out of them. I actually like these more because you see how these cluster looks? Just love the way they look, and they taste really nice. And you see how productive they are? The leaves are all gone, and most of the leaves are gone, and all you get are peppers, lots of peppers. And this as well. Okay, on to my peach pumpkin. I was going to cut this plant down, but it was growing so well and I wanted to save it for Halloween, so I left it. I didn't do much to it, and look at this, it's pushing out pods. Leaves are falling because it's so cold, and then you see pods are still left, so I just left them on there, and they actually produce more pods in the last few weeks. So some are turning orange, so maybe I'll get some for Halloween to carve some faces into them. But that plant is enormous. Look, this is the center right there. It looks like a small tree. So I may dig this out of the ground and overwinter that. So when I do that, I'll show you so that you can see the process. But you can actually dig these out, cut like 90% of them off, the branches. And also you can cut the roots back too, because if there's no branches and leaves, they don't need that many roots to survive. You see how large those trunks? So I may overwinter this one. Okay, and this here is the Super Pekin. And look at this. This is a few years old. So of course I'm gonna overwinter this one here. I want to see how long I can grow this plant before it dies. I think this is on its 3rd year. And here are the fruits right here. The leaves are almost gone. And this was the bed with all the white Thai and stuff. I cut it all off except this one here, and because it was producing fruit still, so I left it. Here is another sweet Linzo. This is a little bit smaller, and these are quite tasty. They're no heat, more sweetness. And then my the mini habs. There's no leaves on those except pods, and there's still some pods left. I actually like these guys. They're just heat, not much flavor, but heat. So when you eat them with food, it takes on the flavor of the food, but it also gives you the heat, which is kind of nice. And here we have another super pekin, and this one was actually grown from the seed from that other plant that I just showed you guys. So this is the baby plant of that, and I'm getting a few fruits. Some of these turn out to be like bonnet shaped, so it's very interesting. And then here is Peter's variety, and this guy produced throughout the entire season. I mean, they have given me so many peppers. This is the Malagueta Thai. So it's a very productive plant. It's also gorgeous during the full season, but now it's turning yellow, getting cold, but I still get pods. So this time of the year the pods turn black and then turn red. Usually they don't turn black. Okay, and this beautiful ahi omni color. So here's the interesting thing. I have two plants that I saved seed and I put them on the same package, and then I grew them. They turn out different. So this one here is actually more of the omni color than this one. This one here, look at the size of this fruit. You see how big that is? And most of them are about that size, and they're pretty productive. You see, for a small plant, look at all those fruits. And it's very cold right now, but this plant does not care. And then you see this one here. It's very different. These are lighter pods, so they sometimes sticks up. And this one here is so heavy, so they point down. But they're both the ahi omni color in the same seed package that I saved from the previous year, and they taste the same. So they're very nice and sweet, nice and snacking peppers. So, and they're also pretty. Look at this. You see that? It's beautiful. And then these are chocolate Linzo here from the Arrow Garden. I took it out here because I need to use the Arrow Garden for something else. So that's and look at that. It's still putting out some pods. Okay, and finally the Sugar Rush Peach. And as I mentioned earlier in the previous videos, they look like my omni color, except they turn peach instead of red. So here's the final color, and the pods are pretty nice. I love growing this because they're very easy to maintain. They will produce in extreme heat. They really don't mind. Even when it's cold, they don't care. And this is one of the hardiest variety that I've grown. They just don't care. So they also are very productive and can grow enormous. So try it out, guys. They taste good too. So easy to maintain, produce a lot of sweet peppers. You can use these in salsa and hot sauce and stuff like that. They're great, and they're easy to grow. So that's one variety for people who are beginning to grow peppers. This is a great one. So that is it, guys. That is the last update for real this time. I hope you enjoyed watching wherever you are, because this time of the year in some places it's already snowing like crazy. So we will get into the winter season very soon, and everything would die. So I will be overwintering some plants, so I will try to document the process so you can see. And that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, I almost forgot about this solar power hydroponic plant that I've been growing all season, and I did a video showing you guys this previously, so check out that video if you need to see it. But it is finally starting to die. It's still trying to hang on, but because it's 43 degrees Fahrenheit and in the reservoir it's much colder, so pepper plants cannot live in this type of condition. So that is why it's starting to die. But wow, I can't believe it made it. I think it's at least 4 to 5 months old, and very little maintenance. I don't do any pHing, so check the video to see how I did this. But it's very easy and very fun, and it's just a gorgeous plant grown in this method, and you wouldn't believe that it can survive that long. But anyway, that is the solar power plant.